Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Okay, so we're in the final stretch of season 4.
Right.
This is the end of the Sorkin run. I think that we've had episode after episode has just been fantastic this last little stretch.
Absolutely.
Like the last 5 weeks of this show.
Yeah, I'm really kind of hoping, and I don't know to the extent they're going to do it, but that we're not done with Matthew Perry.
Yeah,
I hope he has like an arc on the show rather than just hiring a Republican again.
me too. So it seems like the Patreon. By the way, thank you for not spoiling the show.
Yeah, no one spoiled anything. I saw. Yeah,
I'm getting the assumption that he is going to be on the show for
like there's some type of through arc through the
Yes.
end of the season. Yeah,
yes. And I like we said last week, I'm very glad that he has a chance to do something dramatic.
Yep.
Obviously we had the chance.
Mhm.
Rest in peace. And I want to see more of his character because he seemed like a really good guy.
I think so too. I like his character. Thought he was an interesting character. I think he's more than a male Ainsley.
Yes.
Because they're two really different types of characters.
Yeah.
Although I completely loved Ainsley as a character and still do, but his right wing lawyer on the show, it feels like it brings a completely different energy to it.
And hats off to Sorkin for not writing the same character twice.
For sure,
There's,
right?
there's been many shows and movies that are guilty of that, where an actor can't return, so they just make a new character, and then all of a sudden it's just the same character.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Speed 2. But no, it's really well written. I like how dramatic things are getting like ramped up. Specifically
Yeah.
the last episode I thought was truly brilliant.
Yeah, there's definitely a build. We're still dealing with the Sharif situation is definitely not going away. The Kumar situation is definitely not going away, and I want to see how that. Yeah, I want to see how they kind of resolve some of these. Plus, whatever's happening. I don't know why it was important now to bring a new lawyer onto the show, but it was.
Yeah, at the end of the season.
Right. I don't think it's going to deal with Sharif because didn't they have? They brought. I can't remember the actress's name. I forget it every time. The girl that Leo's dating. They brought her on to kind of
the mom in Book Nights.
Yeah,
forgive me for not.
I know, guys. We should know her name by now. We shouldn't have been lazy.
There's so many actors and characters.
We're watching like I think I'm watching like 9 shows, right? Eight or 9 shows for the channel right now, and they're all ensemble shows. So some of the characters get lost in the mix. Yeah, we should do like some of the other reaction channels do and actually like take notes. That's what the smart ones do.
Yeah, but regardless, her character. There seems like there might be some kind of resolution there, but I'm not sure if it's done with the Sharif situation.
Oh, it's not done because it's not public yet. There's a 0% chance we're done with it.
And I think that
it is going to come public.
I think season 5 is that's what they're going to be dealing with in season 5.
Quite possible, right? Sure.
Because we have 3 episodes left.
Yeah, we're really close to the end of the season.
So yeah, I expect things to blow up here pretty soon,
right?
And for it to get pretty crazy. I don't know.
Something big's coming for sure.
I don't know if we're looking at a cliffhanger situation or what we're looking at, but I really want to see how Sorkin rides off into the sunset.
Well, we've had most of the seasons have ended with cliffhangers.
Yeah.
3 not so much, other than the fact that we met the opposing presidential candidate,
Richie.
Yeah. So that wasn't much of a cliffhanger, but 1 and 2 both ended on major cliffhangers.
They did.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility for it too.
3 wasn't a cliffhanger, but it kind of felt that way. It got you ready for the next season.
Yeah, it wasn't a cliffhanger, but it did set up the next season for sure. Right, we do want to go ahead and welcome the Chosen One, SP Maximus, and Andric to our Patreon group. Thanks so much, guys. We're very happy here with us.
Yes, we are. If you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Okay.
If you mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on the new content we're coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On all shows we're watching, including The West Wing, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube.
Yes.
So if you're watching this on YouTube and want to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon page. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see and hear us for copyright purposes. We are also watching 30 Rock, currently Patreon exclusive. Ooh, are we getting Hoynes back?
I hope so. We haven't seen him forever.
We haven't seen Hoynes this season, I don't think. It's a cool shot.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting build here, isn't it?
Almost ominous.
Yeah, like who are you waiting on? This is a big letter that everybody's expecting.
Yeah.
Goes to the Secretary of State, but we'll take care of it. You know what's in here?
I want to know. Oh, here it is.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hoynes resigned.
What the heck?
I'm assuming this is going to be a bit of a flashback episode where we get to this point.
Yeah, I love it when they do that.
I do too.
I love it.
They handle it really well on this show.
Okay, so we'll be getting a new VP on the show shortly then, I guess.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I like Hoynes, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Why is science coming to the White House?
It's about the vice president.
Is the White House concealing a report from the commission containing 2 different pieces of evidence of water molecules on Mars?
And what the hell does this have to do with the vice president?
The vice president heads the NASA commission.
Katerina.
A source says the vice president told them personally.
So the vice president's got something going on for sure leading up to this.
Oh. Hey, yeah, that's a matter for the counsel's office. I know the right guy to speak to down there.
Oh, so this is going to be Joe's first thing.
Yeah. There's the office.
The
Yep.
steam pipe trunk distribution venue.
Yeah.
What is it when it's not occupied?
The steam pipe trunk distribution venue.
There it is.
I thought that was Xerox paper.
Your associate White House counsel, Mr. Quincy.
We'd never want to compromise the aesthetic integrity of the steam pipe trunk distribution venue.
I outrank you by like 17 runs,
Yeah.
so follow me, would you?
Sure.
Right.
This may sound silly, but the science editor from the Washington Post that the vice president interfered to classify a report that a NASA commission, which he heads, has, saying there's life on Mars.
Claudia Jean, you've only known me for 4 minutes. Usually it takes people a better part of an hour to hate me and everything I stand for.
I'm the press secretary, boo-boo. I don't have that kind of time.
These two have really good chemistry. I mean, he does the dialogue really well.
If I'm watching that ad,
The ad wasn't for you. It wasn't about Dad. It was about Mom looking worried in the front seat.
That's really true.
you think we should run a counter ad?
We have to.
Saying what?
Oh, I don't know.
Have an idea. Don't come in here with half a thing and not be able to, after you walk me to the brink.
Carol got a call in the press office. Did the White House press the Justice Department to call off their antitrust investigation of Cassion?
Is the source of everything the vice president? Because so far it's Mars and this lawsuit.
Maybe it is then. Yeah.
Maybe that's why he quits. He's a leak.
Yeah.
Reporter looking into the White House suppressing a NASA commission.
This is 2 in one day. I just got...
Yeah.
Did the White House interfere with Cassion antitrust? What did they say we got in exchange for calling off the DOJ?
100,000 computers in classrooms.
So it's a serious leak then.
Yeah.
But we know there's life on Mars. That's what they're saying we're suppressing.
The Defense Department classified the NASA Commission report.
Tell them what the Post said we got in exchange for calling off Justice.
100,000 computers in classrooms.
So this was a real thing. Yeah, for sure.
Are you saying the vice president knew the terms of the Cassion settlement?
Sure.
Fix this, would you please?
He's got to go talk to the vice president.
Yep.
So what you leaking?
A Saudi oil rig.
A Saudi oil rig. That's exactly right. She's trying to pull a Saudi oil rig.
She's hauling actual Saudis.
Hauling Saudis? It's coming awfully close to a 15-second spot the Klan might produce.
Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
They say there's no bad ideas, right?
There's a 73-year-old lady who works in the residence cleaning and winding all the clocks. I said, Mrs. Wheelie, you should really write a book.
Yeah.
She said, no. We don't do that.
You said I wouldn't even know you were here? When you do 10 minutes on Helen Baldwin getting a book deal, it's righteous.
Helen Baldwin has a book deal?
Yep.
Where did you find that out?
I'm glad you asked.
He's going to put something together here, isn't he?
He is.
What's going on?
I'm sure it's nothing, and this is just my first day.
This is one heck of a first
Yeah,
day.
he's going to be having a big first day.
You said the science editor, when he came to you with a question about the NASA commission.
I wouldn't worry too much about Mars. I gave it to you to give you a hard time. Stu Winkles don't get tips about the White House illegally suppressing reports. What'd you get me, Stu Winkle, at the Washington Post?
I'm sorry.
Stu Winkle at the Post.
Even Carol's like, what?
What name is that? Yeah.
It was the Defense Department and not the White House who classified the report.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I hope you don't mind. It sounded crazy enough, but what do I know? So you gotta run these things down. I don't mean boring serious, but the more than...
Is Helen Baldwin her book? Is that what this is about? It's like this stuff's in her book? So that's who the vice president's been calling. Yep.
John White, Helen Baldwin.
Yep. He's been calling her and he's the leak to her.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in her book.
Yeah.
I need to see Josh and Toby, and Joe needs to see the vice president.
Is he the one? You think he's the one that gets him to resign? He's like, you need to resign.
If he asks the advice, but I don't think Hoynes needs to be told that after all this. It's not his job to get him to resign.
No, I wonder who confronts him.
Well, I'm sure the president and him talk at some point in this episode. Yeah.
Wait for me a minute, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Does he know it's coming? Is that why he's having them wait?
This is your first day?
Yes, sir.
They're going to put your picture up someplace.
You're going to
Yeah.
be honored at a luncheon.
Mr. Vice President, have you been having an affair with Helen Baldwin while here at the White House?
Oh.
He's asking because... I know why he's asking.
So it was pillow talk? That's all this comes down to, pillow talk?
Stupid.
Yes.
Oh my God. I thought he had an agenda.
Me
It was
too.
just
For
talking.
a second, yeah.
And I like to show off.
There it is, yep.
I've spoken to Oliver Babish, who's gotten on a plane.
What do I do now?
He's going to, obviously, he's going to resign.
I think you've got to talk to your family now, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be
Hands
public,
tied.
yeah. They don't even know the process by which you find and appoint another vice president after this. I guess we'll learn on the show.
Yeah.
Hope I didn't see your smile in there.
You didn't.
Josh, you didn't.
Two bodies of government are debating fuel efficiency at the highest level. We're not in the trenches. Well, you need to come with me. I need to tell you what's about to happen.
America's about to get a new vice president, and this is going to be a publicity nightmare.
Has that ever happened?
Vice presidents have resigned before. I mean, obviously, the Watergate scandal.
Didn't it ever occur to you that she might do this?
No, I didn't think she would.
You were wrong. John, if we're going to weather this, then we're going to
We're
have...
not going to weather this.
We will.
We
Yeah.
won't. I'm resigning.
I guess that's why they were arguing with him. It was like, we got to figure this out, yeah.
Are you in a position to deny it?
No.
She's made a 7-figure book deal.
I'm not getting the nomination.
In the middle of MS, it looked like we were never going to recover, and we did. How the hell did you do this to us?
He's completely in the wrong, but this conversation isn't helpful.
It's not helpful.
I just think two guys yelling at him who shouldn't have an affair is
It
kind of
happened.
pointless at this
It
point.
happened.
Yeah. He knows where you screwed up.
You can make it. I can help you.
I don't want to take my family through it.
You cannot be taken down by this cheap person.
In 2024, it wouldn't matter, but at this time it did, yeah.
Well, I want you to sleep on it. I want all of us to sleep on it.
I actually do feel bad for him. I mean, it was a terrible thing that he did, but it wasn't like a malicious political move in any way.
That's what
I thought he was just leaking to.
That's what I
was
thought.
like, what's he getting out of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they got to get that to the Speaker of the House. He's apparently the one that actually gets turned into. Because technically, he's next in, or she, but I think it's a guy we've seen on here, is next in the line of succession until there's a new vice president.
Yeah, we're going to need a new vice president.
Yep.
Wow, that was a great ending.
Yeah, it was.
That was a fantastic.
What a great last line. We're going to need a new vice president.
I think in terms of television, The West Wing does nonlinear storytelling better than most.
Really well, right?
Very well.
This was done incredibly well. What was so great about it was appropriate in this one. Like, we got the ending. Hoynes resigns, and it's like, what did he do, or why, or what's his move? What's he doing? And I like that. That really helped the misdirect all the way through. Of I was looking for an agenda the whole way on. What was Hoynes' motivation for leaking this stuff to a reporter? Answer: he really wasn't. He was just
being an idiot.
Yeah, he was just being an idiot and making pillow talk with his girlfriend on the side, and thought that it was just a casual conversation of small talk, and it wasn't.
And I want to highlight once again the nonlinear storytelling, just how it's great dramatic tension too, because we know the end game of it all.
Yeah,
but we still don't know how it happens. How do we get from point A to point B?
Well, I think it worked to really serve the misdirects.
It did.
We needed a misdirect on this episode because we needed to be wondering, why would Hoynes do something so vicious? And the answer, even knowing how it resolves itself, the answer is he wasn't.
Yeah, and it's like a lesser show would definitely start not Tuesday.
We start at the beginning, right? We start in the morning or the previous day and work through Joe's day.
It would still have twists, but it also the twist would hit way differently. Yeah, it wouldn't have that impact of us realizing why he did it.
Yeah, this postmodern story structure, right? Quentin Tarantino really taught the world this move.
He did.
Sometimes how you reveal a story chronologically isn't necessarily the right way to do it. Yeah. Right? Pulp Fiction is a great example. It's one of my favorite movies, and it ends on the most important moment of the movie, Jules' realization of who he wants to be and who he's trying to be and who he has been. And in the chronology of the story, it's right in the middle.
The end is the beginning.
They put the end exactly where it needed to be, and I feel like this show did that too. There was an emotional an intellectual arc that Sorkin wanted to take us on.
Yeah.
And by giving us the resignation first, he took us on that journey. It got us exactly where he wanted us to be by the time that happened. It was brilliant.
And I think this is one of the strongest pieces of writing, honestly.
This is a really good episode. Yeah,
I love that he's really pulling out all the stops for his last little run here, because that was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that was Matthew Perry, for at least for this arc, has kind of run his course.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him again, but I'm really glad he decided for this really important moment of the show to go out and get a really solid actor to bring in and just really crush that central role for the one day he was doing it.
If you get an actor of that caliber, it's like use them.
Yeah,
use them well. They did. So yeah, I don't know if he'll be part of the cast going forward. Obviously,
I don't think he is, because somebody on Patreon mentioned that the Friends finale was still a year away.
You're right.
Like he did this.
He's still busy.
He's still on Friends, right? So this is just a drop in.
Friends one.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, this was just a drop in for two episodes arc probably, and he's out.
Sure. It's nice to know that he's like there. So maybe down the road we'll get him another guest spot.
It's possible, right? They're still open to possibility of that, just simply because, kind of like Ainsley, we didn't find out until the last episode that she was officially off the show, doing her own show, because you can just have her in the basement and bring him out, or now him, out kind of whenever you really needed to.
Yeah, and I love it when they take those episodes and they focus on supporting characters too, because the show is so tense. It's nice that we get these like episodes that break it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're really stretching out the main storyline of this season. So the next two episodes I think are really going to be focused on
the fallout of this. I think is going to be
exactly
big, right?
Yes. And it's brilliant because having this come at the end of the season, it sets up season 5.
Right.
The anticipation is there, and we're still so invested in these characters. And I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, there's going to be a cast shift, obviously, at least on some levels. Now, it may be a situation kind of like, anything else. The vice president's someone you don't need around a lot. So we could have like an episode where we get a new vice president, and then they're used very sparingly throughout the show. I would assume in season 7 that whoever that person is going to be important in season 7, because they're going to be a candidate for president, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because in season 7, I think there's a 0% chance we're not getting the next election cycle, because that has to be important on the show, right?
You would think, right?
As we wrap up the Bartlet administration, what happens next, is always important.
They made a huge deal about the second term,
right?
Of course they would do.
We're definitely going to get an election phase towards the end of the show. We have no idea who the candidates are going to be, nor do we want to know. So no spoilers on that.
Yeah, please.
I want to be very surprised by that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is going to be the casting of the vice president. It's going to be really important. However, we handle that moving forward.
Do you think we cover that before the season's done?
There's so many storylines right now that it's hard to say. I don't think it's a fast process, right? You're going to have to vet. It's like when they did the Supreme Court nominations on the show.
Sure.
The vetting process is going to be huge, and there's going to be meetings, and there's going to be debates, and then you're going to have hearings with Congress.
Yes.
And the president just doesn't get to randomly pick one.
Sure.
That's definitely going to be like a Senate approval kind of situation.
Then I definitely think season 5 would cover.
I do too. I think it's going to be a long process. I think it's a lot to introduce now. I think you might start having like meetings, like Toby or Leo or Josh.
Subplot for the next
exactly. Meeting with having interviews or just casual conversations. I think you're going to see people coming out of the woodwork saying, my name should be blah blah, or here's who you need to be talking to. There's going to be lobbying for it. So I think we may see the process start, but no way it gets resolved.
Very smart. 20-some episodes a season.
Right.
You really want to fill those out.
Yeah, and
don't waste any time.
Right, and they're not going to have to rush it. Right, we have 20-something episodes in season 5, and this is a big deal. This is a huge deal.
Yeah.
So I think it is something they're going to take their time with.
And I'm curious, in real life, if this has happened, not this situation specifically, but if a vice president has been replaced under a sitting president in real life, not like the Watergate situation. Who was it? How did it happen? When did it happen? If you guys know that, let us know, because I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, with Watergate, obviously,
they both went. Nixon went, and then
everybody went.
Yeah.
And then Ford. Was the
sacrificial lamb.
Well, no, Ford was the president.
Yeah,
and then he's got to pardon Nixon immediately, and then start the whole process over. But yeah, it was a complete crap show.
It was.
I have the first edition copy of All the President's Men, which I do need to read at some point.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.